Welcome to Luter TV series How to Do Things in the Luter School of Business. I'm Dmitry Shaltayev.
And I'm Ronnie Cohen.
And today's video is going to be dedicated how to prepare the prior before you travel. So you need to prepare the prior when you know that you're going to the conference. In other words, your paper was submitted, accepted, and you know that you want to go to this one. At that stage, you need to provide the university with an official document that tells the university that you are going and the estimated costs. So what you need to do is go to Scholar, log into your regular Scholar, and at the bottom typically you will find a section that says My Organizations. It can be on the left side or on the right side. It should say Luter Faculty Development. So we click on that one, and this is step 2, submitting your prior approval. So click on that link and the prior form shows up, just like that. So the first part of the form deals with not actually the prior, but rather it provides the CNU, Luter School of Business, information about where you're going and how it relates to our objectives as defined by AACSB. So today's date is 26th. I'm going to start from the top. Select your name. Your name should be populated in the list. Where is me? Yeah, right here. Practice area. That would be one of the academic areas, including the law.
Thank you.
All right, and other. Other is probably for people who are not part of the faculty and they are traveling on official administrative business. So I'm in the management section. Your AACSB classification, that would be scholarly academic. For me, activity category. So this is going to be a presentation at the conference, which hopefully will be published in the proceedings. So therefore, I'm going to pick the first option from the list.
Where did that list come from, Dmitry?
Oh, that would be our faculty list of qualifications, right? So we have approved that as a list of activities that count toward the AACSB accreditation purposes, or confirmation, right, or rather maintenance of accreditation purposes. Okay, you can note that you can also pick other, and in this case, you have to provide explanation what other means. All right, name of the event. So where I'm going is called Southeast DSI Annual Meeting in the year of 2018. Enter the event website. I have it right here prepared, so you can see that before you do any of this, you have to do some homework. All right, so I'm going to just copy paste. That's the event website. Location of the event, that would be Wilmington, North Carolina.
That's a really nice city.
Yes, I was there once. I liked it very much. And see. All right, title of the conference submission. Well, luckily, I prepared that also in advance. So I'm just going to copy paste from the file that I created when I submitted that for the conference. And I have to go back and paste that. And after that, there's going to be an activity description or abstract of your paper that you submitted and that was accepted. My abstract is rather long, actually. So this is dedicated to experience teaching the class on data analytics. Before it was part of the BUSN core, and I want to tell the world how it went and probably solicit some opinions what can be done with this course as well. So I'm going to paste the abstract, and here I have to choose. This doesn't go to the prior, that goes to our internal considerations for the AACSB accreditation. So strategic objectives for LSOB, continue to offer rigorous business program, infuse information technology, because that's the technology heavy course, and hopefully heighten the profile of the School of Business.
Absolutely.
Yes. Describe impact on the objectives, on the strategic goals. So basically here I selected the strategic goals, and now I need to explain how exactly my presentation will help you towards the strategic goals. So I actually typed up a short paragraph in this regard right here, so I'm going to copy paste that as well. All right, and oops, what? Paste. Right there, right? Presenting a conference.
And you're going to take out that apostrophe.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Thank you.
that's Russian thing. Russians don't speak very good English. Okay, so program learning objectives. Probably that has nothing to do with students, at least not right now. No students are involved, so therefore I'm going to leave it blank. But if students are involved somehow in this activity, you should definitely check off some of these objectives. And here you have to describe what exactly, how exactly these objectives apply to what you're going to be doing at the conference, at the event. Academic professional merit, that would be teaching and learning scholarship. And here you can type anything that does not relate to any of the learning goals that you selected above. So anything extra that you may or may not have. All right, so this part basically is our internal Luther School of Business part, and now we're actually getting to the part where you enter information that goes eventually on your actual prior. So CNU ID as it is in the banner. So here you're going to type the ID that you're using every time when you log into the CNU, to my CNU. Reason for travel, that would be presentation at academic conference. Oops, academic conference. All right. Departure. I believe I did my homework before, and I'm planning to depart 02 February 20th, 2018 at 3:45 p.m. Return. I'm going to return on 02 23rd, 2018 at 11:45 p.m. Okay, travel method. Here you have two options, car and plane, and we're going to get into the specifics of what both of these involves as far as the prior is concerned. So in my case, I'm going to pick plane. All right, overnight stay is required. Well, this is going to be a trip that will take 4 days, so clearly overnight stay is required. So I'm going to put an X here and leave that one blank. Other employees are traveling with me. No, I'm traveling by myself. Okay, number of university employees, leave blank if nobody else is going with you. So your answer is, I'm going to leave it blank. Number of students, 0. List of employees. So for example, let's say next month I'm planning to go to the field trip to Target distribution center at Suffolk, Virginia. I need to file the prior just like this one. And I have to include actually a list of people who are going with me. That would be probably Bob Hasbrook, Sam, and about 40 students. Obviously, I'm not going to type everything here. I'm just going to submit that list as a extra piece of paper that goes with this prior. Okay, so, but this is not applicable for my case, so I'm going to skip that one. All right, so now, interesting part.
So what if I want to take my car instead of fly? Wilmington's not very far away.
Yes, you can absolutely do that. And actually, I looked out at this possibility. So here's what I did, a little bit of the homework. I went to Google Maps, and it estimates the distance between Newport News and Wilmington, North Carolina. So you can see that it's 290 miles. So if I decide to take my car or university car, by the way, we're required to check if university car is available first to begin with, right? So 290 miles, and what I have to do really, if I use the state car, I have to put the check mark over here. And in this case, I need to provide the estimated what's that?
No, the second one is if you want to use a state car, but a state car is not available. Now that we have the enterprise contract, I don't think that happens very often anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
So
yeah.
most of the time, the state car or the enterprise car is going to be available, and so you just use that. But sometimes, like for me, if I travel with my husband, I can't use a state car, so we use our own car. And so in that case, a state or enterprise car is available, but I don't want it. And the penalty for not wanting it is that your reimbursement is
going to be lower.
Going to be about half.
Right. So if you're using state vehicle, that's actually a different story how it's going to be charged. But if the vehicle is not available and you're using your car, so somehow they're out of cars, right? You're going to use. We have to adjust. That's not actually the right number. 0.535, I believe the right number is the mileage rate. But if you decide purposefully to use your own car, that would be the rate that applies to you. So just like Ronnie said, if you're using your own vehicle, it's going to be less of the reimbursement at the end of the day. But in this case, I'm going to leave it blank because I'm not traveling by the car at all. So I'm going to skip that section altogether, and now estimated expenses. In most cases that we as a department, as faculty at this department are dealing with, we're going to be paying the convention fees using the departmental credit card. That means either Tricia or Teresa are going to go to the website of the conference and charge basically the credit card in the amount of the fee. So I'm going to say X over here, and the convention fees, I'll look them up, and they're $160. Note that you have to leave off the dollar sign. All right, going next. Airfare. Airfare, I also estimated the airfare, and by the way, let me show you also a piece of work that I did before doing my homework. So if I'm using my own car, for example, or I request the state vehicle, and the state vehicle is not available, that would be the rate. That actually would be the rate that I'm going to use. So going 290 miles both ways is going to put the $310 on my prior form. And at the same time, I actually checked the Expedia, that's the site that I standardly use. That's the rate, the airfare that I'm going to be paying.
And it's the same amount of time to get there if you fly or drive. Now that really is
exactly.
pathetic.
Yes. So therefore, it saves you trouble of actually being about 5 hours behind the wheel. So it's much preferable to go by the plane. So I'm going to what's that? 274 and 10 cents, right? So airfare is 274.10.
Now, depending on when you do this, you may want to round up on your airfare just because by the time you actually buy your ticket,
yeah, that's actually a good point.
It will be more. It may be more expensive.
Yeah, we officially cannot purchase any of these airfares or hotels until we're approved, and by the time when that's approved, that can actually go up. So in some cases, you may want to round that up, so to 300, for example, in my specific case, right? So personal car mileage, I'm going to skip that part, but in case you're using your car, here you would put 290 miles, well, multiplied by 2, that would be 580, right? And from this drop down, you pick the appropriate rate, because you're using personal vehicle, that would be this one. But I'm going to undo that, because nothing like that happens in my case. Whoops. Okay. All right, enterprise vehicle charges. So the next one, that happens if you requested a car and it was actually approved for you. In this case, the University CNU Parking and Transportation Service Office will provide you with a quote how much money is going to run actually the department, because this money are coming out of our departmental budget. So this field you cannot really calculate, you have to wait until the transportation services will tell you. Okay, next part is interesting, that's lodging. Lodging, you can see there are 3 options how we can do lodging. First of all, step 1, you have to go to this website and find out what's the per diem rate, in other words, approved rate for travel, conference stay for the lodging, and also for the meal. So I'm going to click on this link. It takes me to the government website, you can see. So I'm going to pick the state of North Carolina. Where is that? North Carolina is right there. And the city of Wilmington. I believe I did that yesterday. So there it is, and I click find rates. And here it is. It says that I'm approved up to $98 on the hotel and $59 for meals and incidental expenses. So I'm going to have to remember these 2 numbers. And now I will go back right there. And basically the email that I received from the conference says that my hotel is charging $129, which is clearly above the per diem, right? So therefore, here I'm going to say no. Lodging is not within per diem, it's above the per diem. But if your lodging is within, then you then you put an X right here, and in this field you just basically type the dollar figure for the total dollar figure for your stay. So number of days multiplied by the rate that your hotel charges, and you skip the next couple of sections altogether. But I'm going to.
And when you're estimating your hotel, remember that the hotel amount they give you often does not include tax.
Taxes,
which is
exactly.
about 10%.
Yeah.
Most places
Yes.
sometimes even higher.
So
again, round up.
Yeah, round up, exactly. So take into account about 10 to 13% tax rate that goes with the hotel. All right, so I'm going to say no and skip to the next one. So here's what I did. I did a little bit of digging around on hotels in this area. So this is the hotel where the conference is. You can see that the official rate is even higher, 169, but because conference is there, it's 129. But there are cheaper alternatives in the vicinity. Well, actually, technically speaking, I probably could have stayed in this hotel because university can approve you up to 50% higher than the rate, approved
so
rate.
that's $147.
Something
so
like that,
You're
yes.
within.
Mhm, I'm within this limit, so therefore I can actually stay at this hotel if I want to, but I decided to save university some money and stay at this one, Courtyard by Marriott. And what I did actually is I ran the analysis on Expedia, and it gave me a figure for 4 nights of $349.17. That includes already taxes on the top of the charge. So therefore, going back, I'm going to say no, I'm not staying at the conference site. But if I am staying at the conference site, you would obviously put an X right here, and in this case, you would type your total for the lodging in this field. But I'm saying no, so I'm skipping that section also, and going to this one. So here, I have to put financial justification. So my financial justification is going to be fairly short actually, because there is a limited amount of space on your prior. So I'm going to type conference site is $129 per night, but the courtyard that I'm using is what was the rate? Can you remember? 103, right? 103 per night. Okay, so fairly short. All right, and here I'm going to have to type my total, which is $349 and something cents, 349.17, 349.17. And the lodging URL, I also actually looked it up. It's right here. So that's the beautiful hotel where I'm planning to stay.
Oh, we'll be spending some time at the pool.
Yeah, probably. All right. Now I lost the mouse right here. Okay. And I'm just going to paste the URL right there. Okay, meals. Now meals, there are two parts to the meals. Number one is number of full days that you're staying at the conference. You have to multiply by the rate of the incidental and meals. So as we saw before, that would be $59 per day, right? Meals and incidental expenses. So because I'm going to stay 2 days over there, that's going to run to $118 for 2 full days. Now here you have to take care of the day where you're traveling back and forth, and there it says that on the days of travel you have to apply 75% rate. So here I have my computations actually in small Excel spreadsheet, where it says that the rate goes down, you can see, by the fraction of 0.75, by the factor of 0.75, and day of travel plus return, that's 2 days, so 88.50, that's my total that I'm going to put in this field, 88.50.
So I just want to add here that if your conference is supplying a bunch of meals, you can just worry about that when you do your reimbursement request, and you'll subtract the meals. And if you don't, the business office will do it anyway. Subtract the meals that your conference provided from your total per diem.
Yes, so essentially you're going to be overestimating your expenses,
Right.
which is a good thing because you will be approved for a higher amount, and if the total comes out to a lower figure, you're saving university some money. Other costs. So there are a couple of other costs. Number one is Uber. I actually used my Uber app, and it looks like $16 is what they charge between the airport and the hotel. So I will be traveling twice, right? So therefore $32. And also I will be parking my car, for example, parking at the airport. Okay. And I even looked that up. So here is my parking information from Newport News Williamsburg International Airport, and it's $8 a day and 4 days. So therefore, it runs also for $32. We're almost done. So we submitted all the essential information. So now we have to provide our email at cnu.edu. Make sure that you use your CNU email address. And when you click submit button, you're done. And now we wait about half a minute when it comes into your CNU email account.
So that was really easy.
Yes, it was. It should be a very easy tool to use for a lot of people who have PhD degrees and work at our distinguished institution. All right, so here it is. So I received an email from Luger Faculty Professional Development Committee, and it says that the prior was submitted And note that another thing that I want to point out. Note that the prior, this is actually the name of the file that was generated by Google for us. That's my name, prior approval 2. This is what I entered on my form just now, what's the name of the event. Then the dates, where I'm traveling, where I'm departing, and where I'm coming back. All of this is included in the file name, so it can be fairly large, and that's going to be relevant in just 1 second. So I'm going to open that, click on the link, and it opens up. You know that it opens up in Google, so it's a Google spreadsheet. I can print it out from here, but quite honestly, it doesn't come out nice. So therefore, what you have to do is go to File, Download as Microsoft Excel, and actually you're provided with the same instructions right here. Okay, so when you receive this confirmation email, it has all the steps that you need to do. So step 1 would be download the file, and looks like it's in there. So there it is. Well, I'm working on Windows 8, so therefore I have to do one more step: unblock the file because it was downloaded from the internet. Google is not, Windows 8 is not the trusting type. So this, which one is that? Let's take a look. Right. 139, this one, right? Yep. Okay, so here's my file, and in order to print it, you have to print it physically because there is a line where you have to sign, so we have to get a physical copy of that. So if you go to the file, print, you can see that it's 1 out of 4 supposed to be on 1 page, and if you scroll, you can see that it's actually too big to fit on 1 page. So what you have to do really is go to no scaling option and say fit 1 sheet on page. And that basically is how it's going to come out on the printer. So after that, you have to click on the print and pick it up from the printer, sign on this line right here. I'm going to make it bigger. Employee signature and date it, obviously. Now, another thing that you have to do is note that there is a second tab in the same file that says justification. You have to print that out as well. Now, the downside is, you remember I pasted the really long abstract, and here it is, right? The text is there, but it's not quite showing. So you have to make it bigger so that you can see the entire abstract, and do the same thing. Go to the file, print, and it's not going to fit on 1 page, so therefore you're going to have to say fit on 1 page, and click on the printer on print button. So that's your page number 2. And the last piece of documentation that you have to print out is actually this one, because likely one of our secretaries are going to be booking you the air trip. These links, we used to include them in the prior, but they expire pretty quickly. So therefore, even if you include the link into the document that you're submitting online, she's going to click on that. It's not going to show anything. So in order for her to know when you're flying, what the flight number, etc., just print it out. So 3 documents: the printout for the airfare, plus the printout of your justification, and the printout of your actual prior, which is signed by you. You clip them together and you bring them to the department chair, and that's how you submit the prior.
Now, one other thing that you might want to do, just depending on your personal circumstances, is you might want to pay for the airfare yourself if you get air miles or automatic upgrades, or you're a super frequent traveler. So then you pay it yourself, and then you add that in for the reimbursement, rather than have Tricia or Teresa pay it with the credit card.
Correct. So that's the end of our short video. I hope you enjoyed. It was informative, hopefully. And
we hope you won't have any errors in your prior.
all right.